Welcome back to the Star Trek Critic, where each episode is graded like a school project, starting with 100 points and subtracting 1 point for each error and seeing what is left. Today, we are starting the second half of the animated series with the episode, The Time Trap. The Enterprise gets caught in a Bermuda Triangle type anomaly in space, with tons of other ships who like it there. The first point is lost because they really messed up the stardate. It is the Delta Triangle, not the Bermuda Triangle. This episode is very similar to Star Trek's Voyager's The Void. It's amazing how many times the other series steal from the animated series, which only lasted for 1 year and was for kids. And like when you enter the Bermuda Triangle, their sensors went bad too. There are the Klingons, you know trouble's coming up. Kirk tries to communicate first, but the Klingons fire at them. And so Kirk says, we're gonna fire back. And this time when they fired, the ship disappeared. The next point is lost since Spock just said the sensors were in chaos, but now can clearly explain what happened to the Klingon ship. They really jump to conclusions on this one, don't they? Of course, the show's only 24 minutes long. And now 2 other Klingon ships have appeared. The next point is lost since Kirk wants to go back to where the ship disappeared at Warp 8. They aren't that far away. But it looks like they're pretty far away from Starfleet for a signal to get back in time. Uhura says the second eye. Commander Curie sounds like Sulu.
You have been identified as the Starship Enterprise.
And in the battle, the Enterprise goes through the Delta Triangle. The trip through does make them all a little bit dizzy. The crew has now discovered the answer to all the questions of this area, but they're stuck here too. Scotty says the third eye. Sulu says the fourth eye. According to Scotty, the Bonaventure would be older than the Enterprise in Star Trek Enterprise, but we never hear about it again. Spock is convinced that these are generational ships, but spoiler alert, they just age really slow here. While they ooh and ah at all the ship designs, the Klingon poses like Peter Pan. Here is the fifth eye, and you know what that means.
Ay, 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 ay.
The weapons are useless and Kirk disappears. This gives Spock the one thing he's wanted all his life.
I assume command of the ship as of 0230 hours.
Ironically, for a Saturday morning kids show, the speaker is a green woman in a bikini. The punishment for the crime of aggression is freezing the ship for 100 years. Ouch. And of course, in this place, the dilithium crystals are always being drained. 300 years in the future, Klingons still use paper. Megan is a psychic. She can spy on the other ships. And all the females sound a lot like Lieutenant Uhura, don't they? Spock says they can escape the void by hooking the ships together. This was copied in the movie 2010. Kor tries to escape on his own, and the crewman still stands like Peter Pan. But it backfired and they didn't make it. Aww. If you want to break the time barrier, you should talk to the original crew of the Enterprise.
And you won't believe how fast you can get back. Well, the time barrier's been broken.
Spock has come up with a formula to get them out. I wish Sheldon was here to translate for us. The Council spies on them and argues about it. Klingon ships have really big conference tables, don't they? And I do have to take a point for the captain and first officer both being on a hostile ship. Spock starts acting really weird. Is he trying to throw off the Klingons, or is the warp space affecting him? I think he's onto the Klingons. They think Spock is acting a little strange too. Kor has a plan to destroy the Enterprise while acting like friends. This happens in almost every other Star Trek episode, doesn't it? Gabler caught the Klingons poking around where they shouldn't be. Years later, Cardassians will be caught doing the same thing. But -1 point for taking nosy Klingons to the bridge. And Spock is just acting really weird right now. This is a very nice shot of other spaceships, and -1 point for a single set of doors on the turbolift. Gabler says eye number 6. McCoy says the narrator is correct. Spock is acting strange. The secret is out. Spock's limited touching helped him get some information. This is the only time we see him do that, isn't it? Look closely, the Klingon woman is wearing a skirt. Callie is the one who's going to plant the device. The dinner involves Orion girls dancing. Yes! She tells Kirk the residents of the Void have long given up the hopeless idea of escape. McCoy and a Klingon fight over a woman.
Even as this Federation was negotiating a peace treaty with us.
While he traveled to see you under a flag of truce on a mission of peace.
All I did was ask her to dance.
This is proof McCoy started all the problems with the Klingons just because
he had the hands of a surgeon.
The Klingons caused a fight just as a distraction so she could plant this thing. In this Void, the punishment for a bar brawl is to freeze your ship and crew for a century. Kirk talks it out of it, but I believe the Council's view on this is good riddance to both of you. Why does the Klingon ship have this angle of the Enterprise bridge? This is a very old school countdown clock, isn't it? The Psychic knows all the secrets and refers to the Enterprise as she, her. Lieutenant Uhura saves the day. Personally, I don't believe this little pill could destroy the Enterprise, but you can't be too careful. At -1 point, that little pill can't make such a big explosion. The Enterprise is still there, but Captain Cord takes credit for everything. Look closely, are those open turbolift doors? But Kirk's remark is that we're back, that's all that matters. Time Trap, a tale of a peaceful interplanetary society forever lost in a void, gets a score of 94%. The people of Elysia may have inspired David Brin's Planet Gijo in his second Uplift Wars series, but read my book instead. Thanks for viewing. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists, and most important of all, click that like button, the share button, and that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.